An emperor, cloaked in villainy, playing his lyre while his city burns. It is one of the most enduring images of ancient history, the moment Emperor Nero allegedly watched Rome turn to ash. But history is written by the victors, and the truth behind the smoke and the flames is far more complex and far more political. The year is 64 AD. Rome is the undisputed center of the world, but it is also a ticking time bomb. The city was a maze of narrow, winding alleyways, towering wooden tenement buildings known as insulae, and open flame cooking. It was an architectural disaster waiting for a spark. The population was dense, the fire department was disorganized, and when a fire began, it had nowhere to go but everywhere. On the night of July 19th, 64 AD, disaster struck. The fire started in the area bordering the Circus Maximus, where shops stored flammable oils and goods. Fanned by fierce winds, the flames leaped from building to building. The blaze was uncontrollable. It burned for 6 days and 7 nights, consuming 10 of the city's 14 districts. When the smoke cleared, 2/3 of the magnificent, ancient city was destroyed. Now, for the core of the myth, did Nero really stand on a rooftop, playing his lyre and reciting poetry? The source of this enduring image is largely Suetonius and later writers, men who were politically motivated to despise the emperor. The truth is far less dramatic. Historical accounts state that when the fire broke out, Nero was 60 miles away at his villa in Antium. When news reached him, he immediately rushed back to the city. He wasn't watching the spectacle. He was dealing with the catastrophe. Nero's initial response was, by all accounts, highly responsible. He organized the distribution of relief supplies. He opened his own imperial gardens and palaces to shelter the homeless. He even lowered the price of grain. Crucially, Nero enacted the first ever building codes. Streets had to be widened. New structures could not be continuous, and they had to be built with fire-resistant stone. He was solving the problem, not celebrating it. However, despite his actions, the popular suspicion remained. Why? Because Nero needed space for his monumental new palace. The tragedy presented Nero with a colossal opportunity. He seized land that the fire cleared to build his magnificent new residence, the Domus Aurea. This palace complex was immense, spanning nearly 1/3 of the devastated city. He funded this by heavily taxing the provinces. To the displaced, starving citizens, this wasn't urban renewal, it was proof. Proof that the fire wasn't an accident. It was a calculated act to seize real estate. Whether he started the fire or not, Nero benefited immensely, and that political calculus sealed his fate in the court of public opinion. As public anger mounted, Nero needed a scapegoat. The Senate was too powerful to blame, and blaming his own officials was too risky. He chose a small, marginalized sect that had only recently arrived in Rome. The Christians. Nero accused the Christians of deliberately setting the blaze. What followed was a wave of brutal persecution, a horrifying and entirely political deflection of guilt. This is the ultimate unwritten file of this disaster. The political weaponization of tragedy. Modern analysis strongly supports the theory that the fire was an accident. Rome was simply too prone to disaster, and the scale of the destruction suggests natural factors like wind and building density were the primary drivers. Nero's guilt lies not in starting the fire, but in capitalizing on it. He let the myth take hold to justify his ruthless land acquisition and his brutal crackdown on political enemies. The lyre-playing emperor is a dramatic literary creation. The Great Fire of Rome wasn't an act of mad genius, but a perfect storm that allowed a shrewd emperor to clear space for his legacy. The myth of Nero watching it burn is history's way of punishing a leader who profited from his people's suffering. Do you think Nero's actions were justified by his later urban reforms? Or was it pure tyranny? Let us know your thoughts below. If you want to uncover more unwritten historical truths, hit the like button and subscribe to The Unwritten File.